Hey y'all! Oh my goodness! Happy day 24. Happy Merry Christmas Eve if you celebrate Christmas. Happy holidays, y'all. We got one more day. One more day. Wild. Super grateful, super proud of myself for making it all the way through. Even though there was a little delulu, I don't remember what day it was, but when we were going to pick up the tree, I had a friendly reminder that, hey, Vlogmas is until the 25th. It's not all the way throughout the month. So 5 days earlier than I thought. Love that for us. But yes, happy day 24. Merry Christmas Eve. I hope that you guys are enjoying your holidays so far. And we are about to get into 5 different side body and hip stretches. We're not really going to get into mobility stretches today, just because one, I feel like we haven't had a stretch in a minute. I've been having fun with this lifestyle vlogging content. It's like, hold on, sweetie, okay? But anyways, so we're gonna get into that. My hips are typically one of the areas where I hold a lot of tension. For most people hold tension in their hips very often. A lot of people hold trauma in their hips, emotions, unprocessed emotions. So hopefully this will be a nice stretch. And like I said, I'm gonna show you about 5 different stretches, which are for your side body. So like some of your side abs, a little bit of the sides of your glutes, and again into that hip. So if you don't know, the difference between mobility stretching versus just stretching is mobility stretching is a little bit more functional. They have like 2 parts. So I think I've done it in one of my stretches before, but a mobility stretch is maybe something like this, where you're actively moving and doing a mobility exercise. Whereas maybe a stretch, which is going to be one of our stretches today, you're probably leaning back, moving forward, leaning back, moving forward, or even just a stretch, you're just staying here and completely stretching it out. So just a little FYI tidbit type of situation. I don't know if I'm going to take these socks off, but let's slow down. Let's get into it. And we are going to start off with our first stretch, which is going to be our side body stretch. We're going to sit in these for a little bit. Of course, please listen to your body. If you need to get out of any stretches, maybe quicker than the time, that is okay. Listen to your body. Clicks, ticks, some like forcing you outside of your comfort zone is okay. Pain, pulling, like pain, please allow yourself to gracefully get out of it. Maybe skip the exercise, or maybe don't even do it at all. All right. Okay, so this first exercise I like for us to kind of ground in. We're gonna do frog pose. And so with this, I definitely invite you to maybe grab a pillow, or maybe a thicker stuffed animal. So it's similar to child's pose, where child's pose, your feet are maybe together, or your legs are together, and you're kind of leaning forward into, again, a child's pose. There's a different variation of child pose where your hips are a little bit are widened, and then you do the same thing and you have more of that stretch in your hips. So we're going to do a little bit of that second variation where your hips is a little bit more wide. Move over. Your hips are going to be a little bit more wide, but instead of your feet pointing inward, we are going to point our feet outwards, kind of like a frog. And honestly, this right here can be the stretch. So let's even start there. Making sure to breathe. On your inhales, maybe creating some extra space. And on your exhale, allowing yourself to soften a little bit more. Make sure you are pushing back towards your heels. You should be feeling it in your groin area, those inner hips, inner thighs. And so if you can, I invite you to maybe put a pillow under you. And if you feel comfortable going a little bit deeper, allowing your arms to reach out forward and resting here. If you need some additional support, you can rest your forearms and your elbows on the floor instead. Using it as leverage to push back. And again, if you're feeling even more fancy, you can have some pulses here. So whatever feels good for you, whichever variation. So some pulses, laying here, or even up on your palms right here. No right or wrong way, but we're gonna rest here for a little bit, remembering to breathe. Alrighty, and wherever you are, slowly getting out of this position. Maybe going into child's pose just to counteract the position. All right. And what we'll do next is a side body pose. Again, all of these additional aids, they are completely up to you. But if you do have a block or even a stack of books, we're gonna do some side body stretching. And so I'll start this way for my left side. But what we're gonna do is either place your palm, your right palm to the ground, or your right palm on whichever level of your blocks you would like. So if that's here, or if that's here, whatever you need. This is just for some additional height. Honestly, if you don't have a block, no worries, you can get a book. I was gonna use my water bottle, but it's not that sturdy. Or maybe it is, finding something that's a little bit more sturdy. But if you can, allowing yourself to place your right palm down, inhaling your left palm up and over. And so what you want to make sure is that you're not dumping down, right? You're more of pulling up and stretching to the side. So you should be feeling it all down your side, really from like that side boob area all the way down. And so remember, we're not sinking into it. We are starting up as straight as we can, or moving up. Exhale, reach over, making sure that we are reaching, and we're gonna sit here for a little. Again, if you want to pulse, feel free to do so. If you want to put a bend in your arm to get an additional stretch, feel free to do so. All right, we're gonna inhale up. Exhale, left arm down. Maybe shake it out. All right, same thing for your right side. We're gonna plant our left palm down, right arm inhaling up, stretching to the side. All right, slowly releasing. How we feeling? Are we good? Are we good? Are we good? All right. If you need some water, definitely take the time to do so. If you need some extra stretching, please feel free to do so. Alrighty, and so for our third stretch, we're actually going to do the example stretch that I mentioned. And this is not only going to stretch out your hips, but also some of that inner thigh, maybe even some of the hamstrings. And so what we're going to do, we're going to start off with the right leg. And we're going to go on all fours. Again, if you have a block, feel free to do so, or you can be on the floor. So we're going to kind of get in a kind of like all four position. And we're going to extend our right leg out. And then we're going to first start off with our foot flexed, allowing yourself to slide. If you have socks, that's so much easier. We're going to slide towards the left. And we're going to start flexed, and then we'll end up pointing our foot soon. I'll turn around for the opposite side just so you can see. And we're going to sit here for a little bit. All right, come on up, slide on back. Ugh, my socks is trying to slide on back. Yeah, I'm gonna take my socks off. We'll see if it's easier or not with my socks. On this carpet, it would have been better, but on my mat, So, I'm just turned around, but we're going to do it to the left side. So again, we're going to start off on all fours. We're going to put that left leg out. We're going to start in a flexed position, and we are going to slide to the side. You should be feeling the stretch in that hamstring and in that hip. All right, we're gonna slide out of that. Okay, how are we feeling? I feel like that third one was a little bit more intense. So again, do what feels good. This next hip exercise we're gonna do is we are going to place our legs in, what is this shape called? Kind of like a Z-ish shape. We're gonna start with our right leg in front, having your right leg at a 90-degree angle, and that left leg the same as well. If you can create space between your right foot and your left thigh, beautiful. So, depending on what resonates with you, this right here is enough of a stretch. You should be feeling it in that left hip, again, closer to that groin area. If you would like, you can take it back a little bit and we can stretch here. If you have enough space and you want to lay all the way back and you can take it there, you can do so. What I'll do is I'll sit right here. Of course, if you want to lean your head back, open your mouth, kind of be present here, feel free to do so. We're going to rest here for a little bit. And again, if you want to even pulse, that's cool too. All right, slowly getting back up. Go ahead and switching. That left leg is gonna come forward, right leg to the back. All right, wherever you are, gonna rest here. Alrighty. Our last stretch is gonna be like a little 2-for-1. 2-for-1 special. And so, similar to our fourth stretch. So we're gonna start with our right leg in, left leg extended to the side. And we're going to go ahead and reach our arms forward, right in front of that right leg. Really going to be stretching the side glute. And again, wherever you need to be, if it's right here on the tips of your fingers, if you're going here, or even if your head is touching the floor, whatever feels good for you. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna still stay in this position, but we're gonna get some more of that side body stretch. And we are going to walk our hands over to your left leg. And if you want an extra stretch, maybe pulling on that left foot, you should be feeling the stretch here. If you want some additional stretch, you can reach that arm up and over and get an additional side body stretch. Alrighty, we're gonna switch legs. And again, we're gonna do the same thing, keeping all of the variations in mind. What you also want to do is make sure your hips are parallel to the floor. And so it can be easy for one hip to come up a little bit. So you wanna make sure both hips, and both glutes are on the floor, on the mat. Walking over to that right leg. right, slowly releasing. All right, y'all, that is our 5 stretches. So if you are having trouble with your hips, of course, consult a doctor. And to give yourself some patience and some grace, I was not able to do this. Something as simple as sitting crisscross applesauce. And specifically because I lack strength in my lower back and my abdomen. I've had a few car accidents, I had a cheerleading incident, and so my back and my abs, and there's weight in my abs, and so they are not the strongest, and so I put a lot of tension in my hips to a point where I wasn't stretching it. Okay, I wasn't stretching it at all. I had a moment of like PT during, was it grad school or undergrad? I think it was grad school. Moment of PT, exercise that I would have to do daily, and it was just a lot. And so even now, I have a very interesting relationship with my hips. I used to not be able to bend down, and of course, it's a combination of a lot of things. But I get it. I am not as flexible and mobile as I would like to be in my hips, but I'm very, very far along. And if you've looked at our first stretch and chat with me, I went a little bit deeper into like my journey with stretching. I've done dance most of my life, or I've danced most of my life, and so being flexible, being able to split all the things was never really a problem until I got older and I wasn't as active and mindful with food and stuff, that I almost feel like, I want to say I'm starting my journey over, but not really. I guess I'm just in a different space of that journey. So it's been a lot of grace, a lot of things. Like even now I'm realizing there's still tension here while I'm sitting, and it's like, okay, relax. So be gracious with yourself. Definitely consult your doctor if you feel like you have any medical conditions. Try to seek out a PT or a chiropractor or whatever feels good for you. I understand the accessibility of that stuff is not as accessible as we'd all like. So if that is not accessible to you, I definitely invite you to take your time and start off slow. I feel like some of these exercises were a little bit more intermediate than beginner. And so if you enjoy this video, let me know, and we can have some more like beginner friendly stretches, or even like an actual flow that is hip stretching. I know we just did different stretches, so I can even record like an actual flow. But yeah, let me know what you guys are feeling. Again, happy day 24, and we got one more day left of Vlogmas. I appreciate you dearly, and I hope that you have a beautiful day.